Come on.
And what were you able to go through in training with AJ?
Yeah, we trained for a couple of times out there, both at the same gym. He was watching me do the pads, and yeah, it was a good experience
today. And then technique and all that stuff, I'm not the most slickest, I'm not the most technical.
Anthony Joshua joins Chris Eubank Jr.'s camp and gave tips to beat Conor Benn again. And instantly, you can sense the intensity. Every move Chris makes now carries precision and purpose as Joshua's experience sharpens his strategy, preparing him for the ultimate showdown.
Nice.
Chris Eubank Jr. shows relentless determination in training with Anthony Joshua. Every session pushes him to a higher level. Even after setbacks, he remains focused and hungry to improve his skills. Watching him move in the gym, you see a fighter fully committed to mastering his craft.
That he still has that fire inside him, A lot of guys, when they take a loss like that, they kind of, they lose their confidence, or they lose their desire. And he doesn't have to fight anymore. He's had a lot of success. He's made a lot of money. So he's good, but he still wants to improve. He still wants to get back.
Eubank fought like he had a match and had a point to prove. And now the confidence level he carries going into this fight is incredible. With the legacy of the first fight on his mind, everyone expects him to win. But he is determined to show he is sharper, stronger, and ready to dominate Conor Benn.
I've seen in previous fight what I had with him that, I say it's the confidence level that he have going into this fight.
Of course, obviously going into this fight, Eubank fought like he had a point to prove, obviously with the legacy of the fight, and then now everyone expects him kind of to win.
Derek Chisora is pointing out exactly how unstoppable Chris can be when he chooses to let his hands go. He is not just throwing 1 or 3 shots, he attacks with 7, and they all land, showing the lethal precision and devastating power that Conor Benn will have to face in the rematch.
We will not find out, at least for about 20 years. Yeah, but if other people murder people, they don't like to brag about it. He don't brag.
Put it in context.
Put it in. Duke MC Kenzie is saying he would be shocked if Eubank loses, and he does not really see that happening. He points out that Eubank is fighting at his career best level, and that psychologically having a smaller guy in front gives him an advantage. The fight was not close enough to warrant a win for Conor Benn.
You know what's going to happen?
Yeah. I'd be shocked if Eubank loses. I don't really see that happening. Again, he's fighting a career best welterweight. He knows that. From a psychological perspective, when you know you've got a smaller guy in front of you, you kind of start 2 or 3 rounds up in your own mind. So, like I say, when you look at the fight, it wasn't close enough to warrant a win for Benn. He didn't win it.
Eddie Hearn is saying Eubank has brought in Bull Marmack, one of the best trainers in the world. This shows he knows he has got to be better, because if he has not improved this time, he loses. He is taking it seriously, and so he should. It is a real fight demanding focus and preparation.
Brought in Eubank, one of the best trainers in the world. What does that tell you? Because he knows he's got to be better. If he's not better this time, he loses. And, he's taking it seriously, and so he should.
And he's taking it seriously, and so he should. It's a real Conor Benn is saying he is glad security got hold of him straight away because he was ready to go. He admits that if security had not intervened, he would have charged at the opponent. He acknowledges that he has always had issues and promises that as long as he is fine, it will not be the last.
It's ain't the first time. I'm not going to promise you now, for as long as he's fine, it won't be the last.
Duke MC Kenzie is saying Conor Benn is not a massive puncher, even at welterweight. He points out that Benn mugged himself off by claiming he would knock Eubank out. He did not give Eubank enough respect and was throwing shots without even looking where they were going. He is not his dad and cannot rely on raw aggression alone. His style.
Conor Benn. Conor Benn's not a massive puncher, not even at welterweight. So, really, he's kind of mugged himself off a little bit by saying, I'm going to knock this guy out. He didn't give Eubank enough respect. Like I say, he was throwing shots at several points in that fight, and he wasn't even looking where they were going. It was just like head down, just winging the shots over. He's not.
Eddie Hearn is saying Conor Benn has heart and courage, but he needs to be smarter. He is just winging away without a proper plan and will try to walk down Eubank as the bigger man. Eddie emphasizes that Benn can be outboxed and needs strategy. The combination of being aggressive but not precise is a flaw, and Eubank can capitalize on it. Benn's determination is clear, but without smart adjustments, he could struggle against a sharper, more prepared Chris Eubank Jr. who can control the pace and exploit every opening in the rematch.
You have to follow the weight classes. You have to follow directions and orders, and that's why we have weight classes. For 1 pound makes a huge difference. I mean, this guy was almost fainting trying to make weight.
Dave Coldwell is saying Eubank has already shown everything he can do, and it is uncertain if he can push the same intensity again. He notes that repeating the same performance as the first fight would be extremely challenging. Despite that, Eubank's dedication and skill make him formidable. Benn might hope for a repeat, but Eubank knows his limits and will plan accordingly. The fight will demand mental and physical strength, and Eubank's ability to adapt will likely keep him in control, even under extreme pressure. Benn will have to find a way past this calculated and experienced fighter to make an impact.
I don't think at this stage Eubank can do a lot more else. He'll try and do what he did, on fight night. It's whether he can go so well again. I don't think so. If the fight becomes as hard and if it's as the pace and ferocity of first fight, I'd be very surprised and I'd be amazed if Eubank can do all that again.
Dave Coldwell is saying Eubank has already shown everything he can do, and it is uncertain if he can push the same intensity again. He notes that repeating the same performance as the first fight would be extremely challenging. Despite that, Eubank's dedication and skill make him formidable. Benn might hope for a repeat, but Eubank knows his limits and will plan accordingly. The fight will demand mental and physical strength, and Eubank's ability to adapt will likely keep him in control, even under extreme pressure. Benn will have to find a way past this calculated and experienced fighter to make an impact.
This fight for me is a lot closer. Conor can catch it and calm me down a little bit on the outside, and not rush like he was pushing his work. His head movement, short steps, on the outside, unnecessary energy.
Notes that the rematch is closer because Benn might catch him and try to calm things down on the outside. Frost points out that Benn rushed his work and wasted energy with unnecessary head movement and short steps in the first fight. Eubank now has the chance to adjust and manage the pace better while Benn attempts to control him. The fight will be tactical with both men trying to exploit openings, but Eubank's growth and experience could give him the edge over Benn's adjustments and energy management throughout the rounds.
Conor is a far better fighter than Chris Eubank Jr. is a boxer.
Technically, yeah.
And that's the problem that Chris Eubank Jr. is having. He's got this thing in his mind. He's a masterful boxer. No, you're not.
No.
I'm sorry, no, you're not.
Well, he's been...
Aid Oladipo is saying that in the end the bigger guy won the first fight, but the rematch will be interesting. He points out that Eubank has realized he can hurt Benn and has felt his power. Knowing what is coming allows Eubank to improve and possibly do even better in the next fight. Aid highlights that Eubank is older but experienced, while Benn will need to step up to try and win a world title. The anticipation for the rematch is huge and the stakes are high, with Tottenham expected to sell out again. Both fighters know exactly what they are facing, and adjustments will decide the outcome. In the end, sort of bigger guy won.
In the end, sort of bigger guy won it. The rematch is going to be interesting, I think. He's now realised that I can hurt that fighter. I've felt the other fighter's power. Next time, I know what's coming. I think he might even do better in the next one. I think he's got a shout to win it.
And Eubank's older.
I get these fights, but you do want to see Benn. Can you kick on to try and win a...
Adam Smith is saying that if Chris Eubank Jr. gets this win, it will give him a completely new lease of life. The rematch is not just about revenge, but also about resetting his career trajectory. Smith highlights that with a new trainer and fresh strategies, 2026 could finally be the year Eubank captures a world title. But first, he has to overcome Conor Benn. He points out that Benn is confident because of what happened the first time, especially after moving up in weight and going the distance. Eubank will have to prepare meticulously and anticipate Benn's mindset and confidence. The psychological battle is as crucial as the physical one. Benn believes he can repeat the past, but Adam emphasizes that knowing what is coming and making adjustments can completely change the outcome. This fight is a turning point and could define Eubank's legacy. Every round will test his stamina, skill, and mental fortitude. and the winner will emerge not just stronger physically, but mentally prepared to take the next step in their career.
And I think Eubank Jr., if he gets this win, and there's a new lease of life maybe under Beaumat, 2026, maybe finally he could become a world champion. But he's got to get past Conor Benn first, and Conor Benn, not just hungry for revenge, he believes he can win this because of what happened first time round, because he went 12 rounds at middleweight, up in class, after a long layoff. Some people fancy Benn in there.
George Groves is saying that it is hard to imagine Conor Benn beating Chris Eubank Jr. because of what Eubank has already achieved. He highlights that Eubank has climbed his Everest, headlined a stadium, and beaten a rival in spectacular fashion with his father by his side amidst all the excitement and celebrations. Groves points out that such achievements give Eubank unmatched confidence and a psychological edge, because no other experience can match the feeling of that success. While Eubank might want to earn more money and continue fighting, he must remain cautious because Benn will come with motivation and ambition. George emphasizes that Eubank's previous victories combined with his experience and composure make him extremely difficult to beat. Benn will have to overcome not just skill, but the aura of Eubank's achievements. This fight is as much about mental resilience and strategic adjustments as it is about physical performance. Every decision in the ring will matter, and Eubank's understanding of his own limits and strengths could make the difference between victory and defeat in the rematch.
I think maybe Conor Benn beats him. I think if I was Eubank, my point was at the time, I was like, mate, like you have just climbed your Everest. You've just headlined a stadium. You've beat what is now a rival, spectacular fashion in terms of getting the win with your dad by your side and all the hooting and hollering that went on amongst. You can't top that feeling. I don't begrudge you if you want to earn more money out of the sport, but be careful because you look way past his best.
Stage is set for an unforgettable rematch, and everything is on the line for Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Eubank has learned from the first fight, trained with Anthony Joshua, and brought in Bulmac to sharpen every aspect of his game. He knows Benn's power and confidence, but he is mentally stronger and physically prepared to exploit every opening. Conor Benn believes he can win, and his determination is clear. But Eubank's experience and strategic growth make him the more complete fighter. This fight will test heart, skill, stamina, and intelligence round after round. If Eubank wins, he cements his legacy and moves closer to a world title while proving his resilience and adaptability. If Benn shocks the world, it would rewrite expectations and elevate him instantly. Every fan is watching closely, and the anticipation is electric. Are you backing Chris Eubank,